I move the council approve the changes to the Downtown Housing Incentive Program and the Affordable Housing Incentive Program as outlined in Management Report ED&T 2024-2.
Thank you, Councillor Johnston. Second, Councillor Duplessie?
No, I'd like to make an amendment on the motion.
I believe it has to be seconded and put on the floor to make an amendment. Yeah, so seconded by Deputy Mayor Quinn. So on the question, Councillor Duplessie.
Thank you. So I would like to make an amendment specifically to remove from the Affordable Housing Incentive Program item number 5 under ineligible projects, transitional housing of all types. Yeah, so that's the amendment I'd like to put forward.
Under the affordable housing or the downtown?
The affordable housing.
The affordable. Thank you. So is there a seconder for Councillor Duplessie's amendment, proposed amendment? Councillor Arsenault. And so I guess, Councillor Duplessie, to be clear, your amendment would be to amend the original motion to include this in the suite of changes that are being proposed tonight. Yeah. Okay. So seconded by Councillor Arsenault. So on the question of Councillor Duplessie's proposed amendments, would anyone like to speak to that? Yeah, Councillor Duplessie.
Yeah, I guess I think we've funded projects similar to this. When we get into the definition of transitional housing, it talks about temporary, but I think that's kind of the hang-up is the temporariness. But I don't think that we're necessarily getting into kind of monitoring lease lengths or anything like that. So I think the temporariness, from our perspective, should be connected to the housing itself, not necessarily how long the individual finds themselves housed. And to that point, or further to that, I think the checks and balance are there, given that any project has to come with CMHC funding and has to come with, or through social development with their affordable housing. So I think that we're protected enough. We've shown in the past that we're willing to work with nonprofits to fund transitional housing. And I think that precedent has been set, and I think this is too restrictive given the need for this kind of focus of housing in our community.
Thank you, Councillor. I guess to speak from the chair, I would speak in favor of your proposed amendment as well, and because from my perspective, in the past, Council has chosen to fund second stage housing, which is a type of transitional housing. So we've shown that we are willing in some instances to fund those types. So having a blanket statement that we will not fund any of them, to me that doesn't match the reality of what Council has chosen to do in the past. It doesn't mean we would fund all transitional housing units that we get brought forward, but to me, eliminating this means that we would remain open to the possibility of doing it in some circumstances, and since in the past we have, it just makes, to me, it's a better policy to have it not in there, but to be able to choose on a case-by-case basis. I'm not sure. Seeing no other lights, I'll call the vote on Councillor Duplessie's proposed amendment. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And so now we revert back to the original motion, Councillor Johnston's motion, which is to approve all of the proposed revisions, including now this one that's been added. And seeing nothing further, I'll call the vote on that. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.